I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine, until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth, as it is in heaven.
We're living in a time we're gonna meet Yahweh Shai. You're gonna meet him face to face, which is proof also that we have to be changed. We can't meet the Lord like this. He's gonna change you, he's gonna crown you, and he's gonna toast with you. Sometimes when Akim are among each other, we'll do little small toasts. Brothers may be like La Yasharala, holding up cups. But imagine the Lord himself hosting it, man. And we join in. And I was reading something else, and pretty much they said in order to have what they call a loyal toast, you would use wine. That's the beverage of choice. And once again, our Lord, he's coming back, and we're gonna see him with all that power, man. But he's gonna extend that power to you.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs of God, and joint heirs with God. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected the same, in hope, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. But we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body.
And once again, when our Lord returns, he's gonna wield that power to you elect as well. Once again, he's gonna change you, he's gonna crown you, and he's gonna have a toast with you. A kingly toast, which will basically be a celebration for victory over the beast. Victory over this system. Victory over Edom Rome coming back. And Edom Rome's mark, which will be that Karagma. So we're going to celebrate with our Lord Yahweh Shai. And honestly, there's no telling what all he has in store for us.
Drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into this morning, morning news and prophecy, which, the elephant in the room, is what's the results, of the EBT. There was this big push, for November the 1st. And, people were expecting, not to get anything. And it's just a lot of confusion, surrounding it. And I found the video of this guy, he's breaking it down, pretty good about the update and what they're talking about now. Monday, today is supposed to be a crucial date, in determining whether or not, benefits go out this month. And we just know we're in a time of uncertainty, all right, for this world. These people, all right, Esau Edom has people in a constant state of anxiety. And this is all the psyops, none of these things are being done randomly. Okay. This whole thing of, the back and forth between Democrat and Republicans and, all these things that we see, especially dealing with these benefits, okay, is a psyops, to weaken the minds of the masses, because like I said before, this is a war of attrition. Matter of fact, I've been saying it a lot. Let's look that definition up, okay? Because these devils, as the scriptures say, the inward thought is deep, okay? So he knows how to play on the psychology, all right, of men, all right, on the spirits of men. That's part of him being a crafty hunter, okay? The fact that he has these people dependent on him, okay, for so long, all right, and he's been, so reliable for so long, all right, there was all a strategy of war, okay? So let's look this up real quick. War of attrition. All right. War of attrition. Yeah, so let's go here to the so I looked it up in the Wikipedia dealing with war of attrition. And this is what's being, waged on the masses psychologically, you know. So you go to a war of attrition. It says attrition warfare is a form of military strategy in which one side attempts to gradually wear down its opponent to the point of collapse. Okay, so you see these people, even before the EBT, and you have all these compilations with people screaming in the camera, okay, head sideways, all right, complaining about, I work 102 hours a week and I can't afford my 1 bedroom apart. Well, that's the results of this war of attrition, this psychological warfare. He's intentionally making things unaffordable. He's intentionally overworking the hell out of you. Okay. He's intentionally coming up with these policies where nothing works in your favor. Okay. These things are being done intentionally. It's a war of attrition. Okay. It says attrition warfare is a form of military strategy in which one side attempts to gradually wear down its opponent to the point of collapse by inflicting continuous losses, okay, in personnel, material, and morale. The term attrition is derived from the Latin word atterire, if I'm saying it right. It says meaning to wear down or to rub against, reflecting the grinding nature of the strategy. Okay, so this is an intentional war strategy that we see against the masses. All right, even deeper than the EBT, just within society in general. All right, where this devil is constantly afflicting these losses on you. Okay, constantly breaking your morale. Okay, constantly having you uncertain. Okay, constantly having you anxious. Okay, because there's people that you got to understand. There's people with this EBT. All they're doing right now is just probably checking their card, trying to look up information for what's the latest news. Okay, that wears on you. That has a major toll on your psyche. Okay, and then this devil just snap his fingers and make those those deposits. Okay, how much more dependent has he just made 42 million people to be ready for this new world order? Okay, so this devil, this ain't just no random thing, all right, that he's doing, and he doesn't have an agenda behind it. No, this nigga knows, okay, that look, this is psychological warfare. The people don't understand that they are in the war of attrition psychologically, man. Okay, and this devil is constantly pouring it on. All right, and he's dragging these things out. Okay, to keep you in suspense. All right, so let's go from there. All right. And I got this video I want to get into. Let's get a couple precepts. All right, let's get this in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17. And then we'll go into the we'll segue to the this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, and verse 5. It said, "Thus said the Lord, all right, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, cursed be the man that trusted in man and making flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord Yahweh Bashem Al Shai." Okay, and this is what we're seeing. All right, people are going to be highly disappointed. Okay, they're trusting this man for their benefit, for their good. Okay, and this devil, he has broken people down, to the point that no matter how much he shows, okay, that he doesn't give a damn, they still look to this man for their benefit. All right, these are people, you understand, when you look at society, the majority of people are broken. He's psychologically broken a lot of people, man, to where all they can do is trust in this man. And this is you Israelites, because it says whose heart departed from the Lord. All right, because you Israelites, you're supposed to trust in Yahweh by Shema Shai. And see, we're not stressing about these times. We're rejoicing in these times, man, because we know, all right, what this is leading to. You see, we know what this leads to, man. This leads to this devil, all right, being taken out of power, man. Okay, because we know that this is nothing but, all right, a phase of him trying to establish his new world order. Okay, and to get people to trust, okay, in his technology and merge with his technology, man, as a form of some type of salvation. So we cheer these things on, man. We welcome these things. Okay, and that's the beautiful thing, and that's the value of having the comfort of the things that make people panic and anxious. Well, it makes us excited and joyous, man, to see these things, because we have the comforter. You see, which is the understanding of these things, man. It said, "For he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh." And the good that's coming, man, is the salvation of the elect. Okay, but if you trust in Esau, you're not going to be around. You're not going to partake in it. Okay, you're not going to see. Okay, you're not going to be in that chariot, seeing America on fire in those new bodies. Okay, you're not going to see that. You're not going to partake in that because you trusted in this man. And your story ends here. Okay, through some horrible death in Jacob's trouble, or you're reserved to the nukes. Okay, it said, "But shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness in a salt land and not inhabited." Man, Oakland, that's gonna be them nukes, the American desert. All right, that's soon to be. Okay, that's gonna be your destination. Okay, is a part of the prophecy where America becomes, all right, a desert, man. Okay, verse 7 said, "Blessed is the man that trusted in the Lord, and whose hope is the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai." Okay, so we're seeing the difference between those that trust in this system and those that trust in Yahweh Bashem Shai. Okay, see, we have a hope that's beyond, okay, an EBT or a government job. Okay, we have a hope that's beyond that. You see, and that's why Yahweh Shai said that we will have a joy, that can't be taken away. Okay, because it doesn't come from, see, our joy doesn't come from this world. Okay, the source of our joy ain't from this society. Okay, the source of our joy comes from prophecy being fulfilled, understanding what they lead to. Okay, so this is read this. This is Saint John 14:27, and now we're starting to see the value of the comforter, man. It said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you, not as the world give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid, man. So we're not troubled with this news either way, because we know if they turn the EBT back on, well, they've achieved some type of psychological, all right, victory over the masses. Okay, if they leave it off and leave the government shut down, that means Esau ready to go full blown with his new world order. Okay, so either way, however it turned out, all right, we're not troubled. Okay, because we know what the end game is. We know what this devil got to do. All right, he can kick the can down the road, okay, as much as he wants. All right, but we know what this devil has to do. Okay, so let's segue to the video. All right, and like I said, he's gonna give a rundown of where we stand. And I think this came out yesterday, so it's still pretty fresh. So let's play this.
Yes, we realize that even if SNAP is going to get turned on, it's not going to get turned on for a while, and we are already seeing all of this kind of shit.
Hungry hippo ass.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and it is official. As of November 2nd today, SNAP benefits have not gone out to the American people. If you're somebody that uses SNAP, I'm sure you've noticed that, and it's a lot of confusion going on right now. People saying, well, I thought a federal judge said Trump is required to release the funds. 25 states have sued the Trump administration. While that is true, and it looks like funds should have to go out, there's a lot of complications, litigation going on around it, and it's going to take a while regardless. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video today. We're going to break it all down so you can understand it. And then also we're going to talk about ways you need to be keeping yourself and your family safe, because whether we like it or not, yes.
If you have ever wanted to develop a skill set that can help you land six-figure remote work but are not,
the looting and robberies have already begun. All right. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel. Let's jump into the video. Let's talk about it. Let's understand all the legalities to this and what's actually going on with the SNAP benefits. All right. So what exactly is going on? Yes, SNAP benefits have not gone out to the American people, but like we said, federal judge overruling the Trump administration is going to force their hand to do it with these contingency funds. And these contingency funds, as you see here, it's about what we're getting reports of in between $5 and $6 billion. Okay. The monthly cost of SNAP is about $8 billion. So by doing this, what they would be doing is giving everybody roughly, I don't know, 70 to 80% maybe of what they typically would get for a month of SNAP. Now, while obviously that's not the best case scenario, it's better than nothing. Now, unfortunately, there's a bunch of complications with this, and that's what's going to cause these funds to not go out for probably multiple weeks, even though they're being required to do so. But before we talk about that, you might be wondering, well, if there was $6 billion in contingency funding ready, why didn't the Trump administration just release it already? Like, why would you withhold that? Very interesting. So what happened was, or what initially these reserve funds were supposed to be used for by the Department of Agriculture, by definition, is because of a government shutdown or a disaster. Well, that's one of those two things from a government shutdown. However, about 10 days ago, the Department of Agriculture just quietly removed government shutdown as the second reason. So yes, real scumbag move, but they got caught. And
So and they do these things. It's all theater, because there's people that's watching every second of this. So the Department of Agriculture had a clause. First was the government had $6 billion, and it's no wonder, $6 billion, all right, put to the side for SNAP benefits, okay, which that covers about 75-80% of SNAP benefits for the month, okay. So it was supposed to be a contingency, all right, account, all right, for government shutdown or emergency. So this money was supposed to be used in situations like this. Okay. So they wait to November the 3rd to really start trying to figure out, okay, what we're going to do with this. Okay. But it's been there the whole time, and it's all theater, man. Okay. It's all reality TV with these politicians. Okay. And so now you had the Department of Agriculture, which said they removed that clause, so-called supposed to remove that clause about the government shutdown, and now it's only contingent on there being an actual crisis for that money to be, all right, justified in using to pay out, the benefits. Okay, so you got that going on, and it's people that's watching this and confused and don't know and looking for the next update. All right. And it's just constantly wearing them down, man. So let's play some more.
So, yes, a federal judge said, nope, sorry, you are required, federal government, to release those funds to the American people because that is what Congress appropriated them for initially. So, great. Funds are supposed to go out, right? Well, not so fast because there's two stipulations to go through with this. Okay. So, there's stipulation 1, which says if the Trump administration decides to release 100% of the funding, as in finding extra funds to do the full $8 billion and have that out by today, then those SNAP benefits would most likely go out very quickly. What's going to happen, though, if it's just a percentage of what was supposed to be the total amount, as in the $6 billion instead of 8, that is actually going to take weeks because the states have to figure out how to appropriate those amounts. And typically these SNAP benefits and the exact amount are appropriated like 2 weeks before SNAP ever goes out. So the earliest anybody's probably going to see their SNAP benefits is probably 7 to 14 days. So that's where we're at now. Yes, the Trump administration will be forced and required to release at least the reserve and contingency funding, unless they decide to try to litigate against this. But that would be a horrible look for the Trump administration to try to fight against this, even though they already actively have. So SNAP benefits will go out for November. However, it's going to take a while. And keep in mind, that's just in November. If the government shutdown moves into another month from now, there will be no more reserve funding. So that brings us into part 2 of the video, which is, yes, we realize that even if SNAP is going to get turned on, it's not going to get turned on for a while. And we are already seeing all of this kind of shit.
Want to start a podcast, but not sure how? Riverside has got you covered. First, go to Riverside.
Hungry hippo ass. Look at these fat ass. These hungry hippo ass.
Now, we need to be clear. The vast majority of people who are actually on SNAP benefits, those are...
And this is the footage that Esau wants. So imagine having, just, hours of this type of footage that he can put on repeat in the media. All right. And that's going to have the people to call on who? Okay. Nero to come with them troops, man. So there's a lot that's going on with this, man. Okay. And and niggas are so predictable. The whole planet Earth knew what niggas was going to do. Okay. So nigga take this opportunity, okay, to go get all the hot chips, from their local gas station. Okay. No real survival, all right, solution for the situation. But a nigga take this chance to go get all the powdered donuts, okay, and hot chips from the gas station, man. Okay. And these niggas are gonna become more bold. Okay. And that this is in places where niggas at. This is in the neighborhood, but there's certain neighborhoods that niggas know that they don't fly. All right. Because when you got times like this, all right, what does it get chaotic first? The place that already has no order and that's amongst nigga neighborhoods. You know, so you brothers, you know, you sisters, you might stay in, you know, areas, you know, saturated with niggas, man. Be mindful, okay? Because that's the place that goes into chaos first. It's a place that already has no order, okay? And that's these projects and these nigga neighborhoods, man. Okay, so they're already starting to see niggas do what niggas do. Okay, destroy their own environment. Okay, so let's let this play.
Elderly, disabled, they're not going to be out doing this, looting, robbing, all this shit. This is going to be opportunists and criminals, as you're just going to see. But that still is a potential huge safety concern for you. There's already forum boards going out there, TikTok posts, organizing events to go and rob Walmarts as giant groups and things like that. But not only that, people are also doing things like setting up checkpoints to rob individuals who have just purchased groceries. This is something people are not thinking about when it comes to keeping yourself safe.
Checkpoint, they is not playing. Straps and they are ready. Checkpoint, and you will be stopped and roll your window down. We got one coming up. All right, bye-bye. See ya.
All right, so think.
So y'all see that? All right. So now you got niggas in these neighborhoods with these guns talking about they doing checkpoints. Okay, y'all see these niggas, and who do you hear quacking all the orders in the background? The nigga woman. Okay, it's gonna be an absolute disaster. Okay, in these nigga neighborhoods, man. This was gonna be the worst at first. Okay, and what are they gonna do? They're gonna be robbing other niggas. They don't. You can tell by the way that these niggas freely are outside with these weapons. You know where they at, and you know where they ain't at. Okay, because niggas are only this bold amongst themselves. Okay, so now you got niggas talking about they doing checkpoints. Okay, and that's why, you know, I said, you brothers and you sisters, man, I don't know, you know, you might do ride share or be mindful, man. This ain't you see, this ain't last year this time or the year before. This is a different phase we're going into. Be mindful, and every day can make a big difference. Okay, because it's another day of uncertainty. People still don't know if they're going to get them. No one, I haven't seen anyone that said they got theirs for this month. You know, if you brothers, you know, even you sisters, you see that video, I post it, you know, and we you know, we can have a receipt on it. Okay, but I haven't heard anyone. Okay, so every day that nothing is going through, you know these niggas gonna be more emboldened to do dumb shit. Okay, but you see these niggas and you see their supervisor, the nigga woman, and this is why when the Lord send them troops, man, this gonna be justified, man. Okay, that's why don't feel sorry for these niggas, man. Okay, because these niggas will rob your grandma. Okay, they don't give a damn. You see? So what the Lord's getting ready to do with these niggas and lay these niggas even with the ground, that's a beautiful thing. Everything working in our favor. You know, from what the elites is doing to what these niggas is doing, everything is working in our favor, man, for us to get to a righteous kingdom, man, for Yahweh Shah to come back and establish righteousness in the earth, man. This is what this is about. Okay? Damn them niggas in their situation, man. Okay? So let's play this. Let me see.
And they are ready. Checkpoint, and you will be stopped and roll your window down. We got one coming up. All right, bye-bye. See ya.
All right, so things like looting grocery stores, that's to be expected. That's already started. In fact, most of these big grocery stores have already announced they're trying to beef up their security, trying to prepare for exactly this happening. But that's not the real safety concern for you and your family, all right? These are things you need to think about. It's one thing for these people to be looting and robbing grocery stores. It's another thing for them to be waiting for you in the parking lot. So it's one thing for them to take the risk to actually go in these stores, fill up a cart, take it all out, be caught on camera. It's another thing for the ones who are a little bit more intelligent to just wait for people who have huge grocery carts going out to their own car and robbing you at your actual car, right? Lowering the risk for them, increasing the danger to you. And they will be looking for soft targets. So a little bit of advice out there. All right, men, your families, your wife, your kids, I would highly suggest, until this thing gets figured out, you do not let your wife go to the grocery store by herself, pack a grocery cart full to the brim of groceries, and walk out of that store by herself. Okay. I'm not trying to be, against the feminists or anything like that, but this is the reality of criminals. All right. They're looking for soft targets. Next, do not go to the grocery store at night. Please do not walk out into a dark parking lot with a cart full of groceries while this is going on, right? You are just increasing the chance that you are going to be a target for this type of behavior. All right. And then the criminals who are very savvy and very dangerous, which you need to be on the lookout for, is the criminal who is going to watch you in the parking lot, fill your car up full to the brim full of groceries, and then drive home. And they decide to follow you to your residence, which is extremely low risk for them, to rob you at your driveway rather than in a parking lot that's in public where people could see and there could be cameras. Okay. And I know this is not fear mongering. I'm just telling you, this is the type of thing that is going to start happening when people get hungry, and criminal opportunists use this type of societal unrest as a leverage point to carry out their bad behavior. Now, another big public service announcement to all you Second Amendment enthusiasts like I am myself, okay? I've seen this all over social media of, yeah, you can try to rob me, got my concealed carry on me, all these different things. Okay, but I want you to be very clear that you understand your state's self-defense laws, and those vary drastically by the state you're in. I'm going to give you some examples. Here in Oregon, we do not have legal use of deadly force in defense of property, which would include your groceries you just purchased. And what I mean by that is if someone comes up to you and tries to rob you of your groceries, your property, you pull out your gun and you defend yourself that way and you kill them, you will go to prison for murder in a state like Oregon, because there is no legal use of force in defense of property. Somebody tries to steal your vehicle and you go out and shoot them. Not okay. You can use force to defend your property, but not deadly force, a gun. So unless you live in Texas, which is pretty much the only state that has legal use of deadly force in defense of property and that's still limited in a lot of different situations, this is not a valid means for you to pull your gun out and shoot somebody just because they try to run up and grab groceries out of your car, throw them in their car. That ain't going to get it done. You will go to prison for murder. Now, of course, if they were to actually physically try to assault you with a weapon or anything like that, that changes things. But if they just run up and rip the grocery cart out of your wife's hands, yeah, she is not going to be entitled to just pull her gun out and shoot somebody. So again,
So this just shows you, where things are headed. All right, just for a visit to the grocery store. The fact that he has to, 'cause I think he's ex-military, all right, maybe special forces, but the fact that he has to go into these things, shows you the times that we're in. Okay, shows you that we're going into a different phase of prophecy, man. And like I say, every day, that those deposits, okay, don't hit those accounts. Okay, things are going to get a little bit worse, man. Okay, so this is why we have to be extremely, mindful how we move. Let's go here. Okay, I said this ain't the time to not know what's going on. Okay, as the scriptures say. Well, in fact, let's get that. All right, this is our 2nd Ezra 9:1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Okay, so we have to understand on the spiritual level, the Lord is getting ready to visit this place, man. All right, and one thing that he's going to do, he's going to have these people, all right, be at war with each other. Okay, he's going to bring in some times, all right, like never before. Okay, and we're seeing all the signs leading up to that. Okay, and we're right here at the threshold. Now, if this devil, all right, Okay. So if this devil, okay, keeps these things shut down, all right, we have to know, okay, that he's all right ready to push this thing into complete civil unrest. Okay. You know what I'm saying? If he draws back, okay, it's just a psyop to create more dependency, okay, for when he does, all right, go all the way with it. Because he has to go all the way with it. He can't keep kicking the can down the road. He has to come all the way in. Okay. So we're seeing the signs, all right, that show us where we get. And the Lord's getting ready to visit this place. And he's going to visit this place through civil unrest. That's going to be the beginning of the Lord visiting this place, man. Because all these plagues and prophecies, okay, are going to be rooted in the Lord visiting this place, man. Okay. All the way up until the actual visitation of Yahweh Shai. Now, verse 3 said, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Okay? So this is what we're seeing. All right. Earthquakes, that's on the uprise, we know. All right. But this is just an emphasis on what? The uproars of the people in the world. Okay. Whether they're fabricated by Esau, Edom, well, they're happening. You see, you can go into the details of the what, the why, the who, but they're happening. Okay. We know most of these things are provoked intentionally, like with this devil, he's intentionally provoking uproar to justify his next move. Okay. So as we see the signs, all right, of the times we in, we know, okay, that this is it. You see, things are finna change. All right. And that's why even the scriptures say this. Let me get this. It's the book of go to the book of Sirach. Okay. Because things change depending on where we get, because it can be, bad where I'm at, but then where another brother is good. Okay. Or it could be good, okay, on this side, okay, but bad on that side. So it's a lot. So we have to really be circumspect, as the scriptures say. It says this Sirach 5:15 said, "Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter, okay, or small." Okay, so we have to be on point. This is why scriptures tell us to be sober in these last days. Okay, we have to be real, all right, attentive to what's going on. Okay, but like I say, you don't know when your Walmart down the street is gonna be a war zone. Okay, you don't know when your Dollar General is just turned into a war zone. You see, and as days go by of all this uncertainty, because no one has any patience and everyone's entitled. Okay, and as you can see, all right, America is the most armed country in the world. Okay, well, you have the most irresponsible people on the planet with automatic, all right, weaponry, man. Okay, so this is going to be, all right, a disaster. All right, the brother say a beautiful disaster waiting to happen. Okay, and as you go into the scriptures, let's go here. Let's get this. Here's a couple more. So let's go here. All right, the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, I believe it's 22 and 3. All right, the book of Proverbs 22 and 3 says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished, man. Okay, so we have this foresight of understanding the times that we're in. And the scriptures say what? He hideth himself. And the main way we hide ourselves is in Yahweh Bashim Shai. You know, our obedience, okay, and our faith, okay, in Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to work for us in these times, man. You know, but the thing is to stay obedient, to stay out the way. Okay? Just because, you know, and see, this is where obedience and wisdom and faith, okay, is going to keep us, man. Because we're not justified to go participate in the madness that these people are on. Okay? Nah, man, we got to fall back. Let the Lord work. Okay? We're not here to get entangled in what these people got going on. Like, if you know what niggas is up to and your cousin wants you to take him to Walmart so he can participate, hell no. You know? We really got to be hidden in these times, man. We got to be out the way more than ever. Okay? Let the Lord work. The Lord setting them up for failure, man. Hey, let the Lord work, man. This is not our concern. Okay? We not a soup kitchen. We don't know what these niggas finna do. We out the way. Okay? It said, but the simple pass on a punishment, and this society has made our people so goddamn simple. Okay? To where you have a term called what? Crash out. Okay? And they finna hit prophecy full speed. You see, Jacob's finna run head first into all these prophecies of punishment full speed and crash out, man. Okay? Now let's go here. All right. And we can end it here, Ephesians 5. Okay, and 15. All right. It says Ephesians 5 and 15, it says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. All right, and being circumspect, okay, being to what? Inspect around you, you know, circum going to around. Okay. Inspect means to inspect, man. Inspect around you. You know, you should be in the mindset of seeing how, you know, things are going around you, man. You know, from the neighborhood, you know, to international news, right? From the international news to your neighborhood, be mindful of what's happening. Constantly throw them prayers up of protection. You know, be mindful in these times, man. This ain't the time to be foolish, which goes into empty head, not knowing what's going on. Okay, have no idea. You know, this is a time we got to move. You know, strategic. You know, we gotta be intentional, man. All right, we in the time now. You women, okay? You women that got husbands, hey, this is time to listen more than ever. Okay, we in the time now as men, we can't explain every decision that's being made. Bring your ass on. Okay, you gotta question everything. You gotta second guess everything. This ain't that time. You know, you gotta work on this shit. We in the time now, shit. You second, hey, guessing can be fatal. Okay, it says redeeming the times because the days are evil. Okay, we in some evil. We coming into some evil times, man. Okay, day for day, today the third, but every day that them deposits don't hit, all right, is just another step closer. Okay, to niggas losing it. You see, so we're just gonna continue, you know, to watch. All right, for these things, man. You know, constantly stay in prayer, constantly understand what's going on. All right, be wise. The Lord's going to protect His, you know, and we're going to stay within what the obedience. This is time to be more obedient than ever, be more patient than ever. Okay, we're going to deal with some, you know, being uncomfortable. We can't move like, you know, we're not going to have the liberty to move like we used to, man. Hey, be prepared to sit down. All right. Hey, what they say, shelter in place, get the hell out the way. You know, it'd be wise to make preparations to be the hell out the way from this madness, man. Okay. So I'll leave it there. You know, Lord will, you know, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. Want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessing salutations to the hopeful elect Shalom.